this is Faith, and she's going to be my helper. This recipe is super easy. I mean, I've already pre-measured everything because we're in the middle of a park. I didn't want to bring my food processor, but basically what I did was I took oats and I processed them in a food processor. If you're even shorter on time and don't even want to do that, you could just use whole oats. Ideally, you want to use raw oats because all oats have been toasted in the processing. But using oats, again, is better than using like a white flour. Everything's like a continuum. So most of my ingredients, or all of them, are gluten-free. Oats are actually gluten-free, but for somebody who has gluten intolerance, it's sort of like a dangerous food because it's processed with other grains. And so sometimes there's cross-contamination, but they actually have gluten-free, clean, processed oats these days too. So I'm just gonna take my oats, which are dry. It's like my dry flour, basically. I'm gonna put into my mixing bowl. And then I'm gonna take my dates. I have pre-measured ½ cup of dates. These are medjool dates. Do you wanna grab one of those and hold it up so they can see? I've already pitted these, but they're really easy to pit, and they're a semi-soft date, so it has a lot of moisture content in it already, and you can see that it's really sticky. So we can just drop that in. And so those sticky dates are gonna be what is gonna bind together the oats. All these plastic bags, I'll reuse them. And then about ½ cup of raisins. I'm gonna put raisins in here. And all my recipes, I try and use just a handful of ingredients, usually like 4. And then I'm gonna put a pinch of cinnamon. Okay, go for it. How's that going? Good. And so what's happening in here, you guys can't really see because the bowl's deep, but it's starting to stick together. And depending as well with all of my recipes, because all the ingredients are whole and fresh, different dates have different moisture levels. Even if you take one medjool date and compare it to another, sometimes one batch may be drier, one batch may have more moisture. And so I encourage everyone to just sort of experiment. If it's not sticking in the right proportions, you can add like a tablespoon of water to it to add more moisture. You can also experiment with different types of dates. There's all different varieties, from like halawi, kathawi. There's all these different types, and they all have unique different flavors to them. So it's really fun to play with all different kinds of dates. Yeah, so it's becoming cookie dough. And these cookies are awesome because there's no baking, right? So like with traditional cookie dough, you have to like wait. You have to put it into the oven, and then you have to wait like 10 minutes, and then you have to wait for it to cool and put it on the rack. And the awesome thing with raw food desserts is you can eat them right away. So this is the mixed batter. So you can see it's cookie batter, cookie dough.